Hey, what's up? This is Azazel here. After a lot of messing around and a little bit of delivery delay, I finally got my hands on these, the Nike A Cold Wall collab Vomero 5. Despite being a pretty high profile collab, these have been around for the last couple of months now, and still in some sizes and some retailers are still in stock. I think there's really two reasons for that. One, £170, fairly high price for a shoe like this. This is not the kind of technical performance shoe like a Vapor Max, for example. And the second reason is the rather obvious heel block that's on the end here, which really does significantly change the shape of this shoe. So is this slept on, or is it still sitting around for a reason? Is this thing total trash? Let's have a little bit more of a detailed look at this and see if we can come to some sort of conclusion. It's worth mentioning as well at the start of the video that just after they launched these, the collab version, there was also a non-A Cold Wall collab version, the regular Vomero 5, and those also are hanging around and available at a lower price as well. So a lot of what I talk about in this video is also going to apply to an extent to those shoes as well. But of course, I'll leave a link in the description in case you want to check those ones out. First up, let's have a look at the aesthetics and the visual detailing of this shoe. As is pretty common with these retro dad sneakers, Nike have used some different panels over this shoe. Most notably is the mesh paneling over the toe box. This helps give a little bit of ventilation, and on each side underneath the swoosh there's this ribbing detailing which helps for a little bit of support and also aesthetics too, makes things look a little bit more interesting. These panels alone, with the translucent swoosh placed over the top, already gives this a very maximalist appearance. There's clearly a lot going on this shoe, and there's even more when you look a little bit closer. Over the toe box, as I mentioned earlier, you've got those mesh panels, but in between there's these kind of shiny, almost patent-like sections. And on the edges of those, not only is there visible stitching, but this little cream edge detailing as well. It's not pure white all over, there's a little bit of a difference between the two. Underneath the laces as well, you'll find some little 3M reflective detailing. The midsole uses several texture changes from the giant tooth-like sections to the checked area just above it, which houses the Cushlon midsole, which helps aid in the comfort of this shoe. And all of those things combined mean that there really is a lot of detail in this shoe. Whichever angle you look at it, there's a lot of different things and textures and different elements. Really, the closer you look at the Vomero, the more you seem to see, and that's not even including the extras that A Cold Wall have added for this collaboration. You've got quite a subtle placement of the A Cold Wall logo on the toe, which I think is quite a cool way of including their branding. You'll also find A Cold Wall branding on the insole, although this is rubbing off so quickly it's almost not worth mentioning. What's not so subtle, and certainly is not going to rub off, is the enormous elephant in the room in the form of the injection molded heel block, which is attached to the back of the shoe. That comes with embossed A Cold Wall branding on one and Nike branding on the other. As several have asked, there is no performance reason behind adding this heel block, it's purely for aesthetics, and to change the Vomero 5 from a Monarch-esque dad shoe into something industrial, postmodern, and quite frankly bizarre. I've got to admit, I really did not like this shoe when I first saw it, but over time it's grown on me and then eventually became something that I wanted to pick up. I liked A Cold Wall's willingness to experiment, to change something that's quite old into something that's now brand new, and something that will fit their quite experimental and I think really interesting line of clothing, even if that means that this shoe isn't going to fit that much else. Another A Cold Wall difference, which you'll find specifically in the white pair, is this burgundy lining, which you can just about see even with your foot in it, which is another little colour detail that makes things look just that little bit more interesting. All these things on this shoe are certainly a lot to take in. As I say, every possible angle that you look at these, there is something different going on. And that's just with the base shoe, and then A Cold Wall have gone even further and not removed anything, but purely added more stuff to it. They are really on the limit of being over-designed, or at least something that looks better as a display piece, rather than something that's meant to be worn day in, day out in your average outfit. With so much going on, they could very easily overshadow anything else that you might want to wear, and I'll talk a little bit about pairings and what you might want to wear with these a bit later in the video, but it's safe to say that your average outfit is just not going to cut it when you've got this huge heel block on there. There's one further difference between the A Cold Wall version and the standard Vomero, which I mentioned in the pickups video where I initially talked about these, and that is that whatever kind of protective or resistant coating that Nike apply to many of their shoes is not present here, which means that these are going to change and they're going to wear down faster than your average Nike would. Over time, these are going to become distressed and change, and combined with that white colour, of course, are going to end up looking quite different to how you originally buy them. And that, I think, is very much in keeping with a Coldwall's ethos of this more worn-in gear, which is, I think, an antithesis to that clean-cut and pristine stuff that you might see quite often. Comfort and sizing, I was actually pleasantly surprised in that these look like quite an uncomfortable shoe, particularly because of that heel block on the back there. But not only did I find these fine true to size, I also thought that they were pretty comfy as well. Like many kind of retro shoes like this, the toe box is a little bit spacious, but after I tightened the laces up a little bit past their factory setting, I find that these have a nice snug fit around most of the foot, and they feel pretty good. The Cushlon midsole that I referenced earlier, that does help give a little bit of squashiness, so they're pretty nice to walk around in. I find them quite comfortable. And that heel block, because it's not solid plastic, obviously, it is hollow, it doesn't really add any weight or anything, so it's not going to weigh the backs of your feet down. The heel block only sticks out about 1.5 inches past the back of the sole anyway, so hopefully you won't be tripped up or anything by these. But anyway, I would be conscious of, especially when you're like going downstairs or something, just in case it catches the edge, don't let yourself fall down the stairs for fashion. I alluded earlier to over-design with these shoes, and when worn in an outfit as opposed to just pictures of them by themselves or in zoomed in on-feet shots, that is going to become more apparent. I think they're simply too loud and too unusual to wear with normal clothing, and that's certainly one of the things that is going to put off your average sneakerhead and someone that is going to pick up a collaboration between two cool brands that they like. So really for me, the goal with a shoe like this is to match that big dick energy with the rest of your outfit and make it so that this heel block is just a natural part of everything and something that is not just randomly stuck on, but an integral part and is mirrored through the whole outfit. So expect very extended proportions, asymmetric cuts, that weird kind of brutalist design that a Coldwall are so well known for. Lots of layers, lots of accessories too, and particularly with pants, I think wider things are going to look nice here, and things that are a bit longer in length as well, something that is going to drape over this shoe slightly. Not so much to hide it away, but just so that you don't have that break between bottom of pant and start of shoe. Often with things like this, I like to wear them with crop trousers because I think it's just cool to like show off the shoe a little bit, but really I think these have too much of a footprint to get away with that. But I do really want to make use of these shoes. As I say, they're a shoe that now I really like. So I'm going to be looking to pick something up in the near future, which I think is going to work nicely with these. And then maybe we can do a little bit of a follow-up video, or I'll include these in something else or something, so you can see how I might go about styling these. In the meantime, I saw Sanj a while ago. He did an outfit with the black ones that I thought looked quite cool. So you could check that out. But also I think follow-up content would be cool in that it would give you guys a chance to see exactly what does happen to these over time. Do they end up going totally black? Do I end up destroying them? Or maybe they will stay fairly nice, who knows? The black version of this shoe is certainly the more wearable kind, and I've seen those ones in outfits more. I think then you can get away with more different styles of outfit. I know, for example, I've seen them pop up in the kind of pseudo tech wear style of wearing loads and loads of like tactical bags and different accessories and stuff and really piling that on. And then I think when you're wearing a shoe like this with the big heel block, it's again just kind of a natural extension of that kind of style of excess and doing things to that next level. So if you are thinking I want to wear a shoe like this alongside a more conventional tech wear stuff, then I would definitely go with the black one. But yeah, I could see maybe some Lunacore vibes or some interesting color play going on with something like this. So yeah, long term, I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what I can do with this shoe. But right now, yeah, I've tried some different things on and just nothing is quite working for me yet. Anyway, final thoughts on these. I think there's a lot to appreciate on the Nike A Coldwall Vomero aesthetically. But ironically, it's exactly that is going to make these less effective on foot and more difficult to wear cohesively. So unless you have a very clear idea of the kinds of things that you want to wear with this shoe, or you have a wardrobe that you believe already is going to work, then it's maybe something that I would be hesitant recommending. However, I do think that this is a really successful collaboration, and I mean that in the sense that it's clearly got some of A Cold Wall's design language here, and clearly they have done something to change a Nike silhouette quite significantly and do something very different. It certainly does a good job of elevating the Vomero 5 above its regular version, and therefore helping to justify that cost increase. However, if this shoe aesthetically, especially this heel block, is too much for you aesthetically, then definitely consider the regular Vomero 5, because they have a lot of the same detailing. You're still going to get that same comfort level, which I was quite pleasantly surprised with, but in a less over-the-top way. You're still going to have a comfortable retro-futuristic shoe which comes in at a more reasonable price and is going to be far easier to wear and style. And also, because it will have that treatment or the coating which this version lacks, it's also going to last longer as well. I feel like I'm selling myself the regular version now, but no, I personally really like these, but if I were to recommend them, I would say for most people, you're going to be better off with the regular version over the A Cold Wall ones. Since even the non-collab ones are a bit unusual, they're going to be a little bit distinctive if you decide to pick those up and wear them, and you might even find that those ones hit the sales. So keep an eye out for those, because $130 is still quite a lot for a shoe like that, but if they drop under £100, you know, a little bit over $100, then that could be the right kind of time to pick something like that up. And then you'll get an interesting shoe. It's a bit off the beaten track, it's a little bit different. It's got the retro futuristic appeal, which is very much in vogue at the moment. And yeah, it'll just be kind of cool, and certainly more wearable than Mr. Big Chunky Boy here. And those were my thoughts on the Nike A Cold Wall heel block with added Vomero 5 attached. Let me know what you think about these. I think this is going to be another one of these shoes where a lot of people are totally going to hate them, and then there's going to be a couple of people in the comments that are like, nah, I think that these are really cool, I agree with you. So shout out to all the keyboard warriors that are going to defend these in the comments. Even if you're not actually that interested in picking them up yourself, that's still fine. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like, and if you want to see some more cool sneaker reviews and some more interesting stuff, then let me know if you got any particular thoughts. And yeah, that's everything. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Shout out to Zozan, ex-Zozan. Thanks for leaving your thoughts on the different brands there. Yeah, I kind of agree with you on Satisfy. I do think that some of their prints are a little bit cringy, like having Runaway or whatever written on your running gear. Maybe a little bit too much. Shout out to Alan from the poll for knowing who Arsene Wenger is. And shout out to Vladimir, thanks for your mini review on C24H. I'm glad that the quality is decent. I have no experience with the brand myself, so that's good to know that it's actually decent stuff. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you haven't got your Antwon fix, you want to check out some more, there's going to be links going up at the top. And if you want to see more cool reviews, you want to see some either really interesting or really disgusting sneakers, depending on where your opinions lie on this one, then hit the little subscribe button. You can be the first to watch it. You can be a cool dude.